Servce here on the front row as the field comes by you. What a sight it is, 27 strong.
They certainly are. And ladies and gentlemen, I want you to pay close attention to turn number 2 because you are about to witness history in the making. Ladies and gentlemen, this was Jackaroot Sr.'s dream. These are the SK Modifieds as they prepare and form in a unique formation. Never done in an SK Modified or an open wheel division here at the Stafford Motor Speedway as they head into turn number 4. Get up, stand up, make some noise, wave and salute. Ladies and gentlemen, you are witnessing the first time in the history of Stafford Motor Speedway and the SK Modifieds a 3 abreast salute to you, the race fans. Make some noise and give them a shout, give them a wave. Here is history in the making from the Stafford Motor Speedway.
They can hear you inside those race cars, so get loud, Stafford. This is the SK Modified division, the best of the best, the premier division here at Stafford, and some may say in the country when it comes to short track racing. This is what it's all about, open wheel competition at its very best, and what a sight it is to see a 3-wide parade lap in the SK Modified.
They'll move back in rows of 2, and they'll head down the back straightaway. Spotters are ready. You, the race fans, are all pumped up. It's time to go racing. This is what it's all about here from the Stafford Motor Speedway as they pair off in rows of 2. Meanwhile, still a problem, car number 52, the John Catania race car. Down on pit road, needing a power assist and a push there. Off turn 4 from the starter stand, the clenched yellow and clenched green. And we just received information, the 52, an engine problem with oil pressure there. We're ready, Joe. Tyler Hines, Ryan Priest, row number 1. Ted Christopher, Ronnie Williams, row 2. Keith Rocco and Chase Dowling. Bo Gunning and Rowan Pennick. Glenn Reed and Todd Owen. Matt Gelko and Tom Abel. They make up the top 12. Lights are off of the safety vehicle down the back straightaway. You can feel the ground almost rumbling beneath your feet. This is SK Modified country. This is what the Stafford Motor Speedway is all about as they head to turn 3. Here's Joe Koss.
Pace car just about set to dive off into the pit road. Here they come. Tyler Hines, the pole sitter, on the inside lane. Ryan Priest up top as we get set for the green flag of the Spring Sizzler.
Our honorary starter, Jennifer Greco, right there in the starter stand. The green is out and we are racing here on Sunday for Sizzler Sunday for the Stafford Motor Speedway. It doesn't take long for Tyler Hines to make some magic on the bottom, but here comes Ryan Priest on cue, turn 3, brand new leader emerges. It's still a dogfight at the points.
Priest quick to the accelerator off turn number 4 is able to clear Tyler Hines and lead lap number 1. So Hines back to second, but here comes TC working down the inside lane. Ronnie Williams up high as they exit turn 2.
And who's the tail that wags the dog there? All of a sudden, here comes Kid Rock. Look at Christopher, bottom shot mood like days of old. He rim rides off turn number 4. Meanwhile, stepping out of line is Glenn Reed. They're 3 wide, not in a parade lap, but up to speed.
Reed gets back in line behind Bill Gunning by the time they get down to turn 2. Look at the gold car up there on the outside lane. Defending champion Rowan Pennick picking up spots. He goes high on Bill Gunning in the battle for 7.
Meanwhile, directly in front of him, here comes Chase Dowling. He muscles up a little extra giddy up and moves to the outside of car number 49, and that's Ronnie Williams. Williams slips up the track. All of a sudden, up on the podium comes Kid Rock. He'll now move into 3rd, and look at Ted Christopher. He just reels in on the back bumper of Priest, gives him a smooch. No love affair there, Joe. They're going for the lead.
Christopher hungry for victories. He dives down to the inside lane. Priest gives him racing room to the bottom, but Christopher evens a score. Off turn number 2, they are straight even across, and now here comes Keith Rocco to challenge inside of Priest.
He sees the door open, and that is exactly what happens there. Off the turn. They are side by side. We've got a spin. Car number 71. Point for Tyler Hines. And then it's Williams, 3 rows back, and Chase Dowling. The Dowling race car, Joe, is a brand new car, brand new motor, brand new everything. They said we just started fresh and clean with a new driver, new equipment right across the board. And it seemed to be paying off. He won his qualifying round very convincingly yesterday afternoon.
He will start 6th on this restart. 3rd row outside lane. The pace car is back in. Ryan Priest on the inside. That black number 40 is a race leader. The high lane, Ted Christopher.
Green flag is out, and Christopher has a little more momentum momentum as he goes from the high line to the low line, takes over the lead, and here's the deal breaker. Right here is Tyler Hines. Gets up on the wheel, and he makes a power move to the outside of Preece, side by side for second.
And he has Chase Dowling in tow up there in the outside lane. Ted Christopher gets away with the race lead. Dowling pounding on the back bumper of Tyler Hines down the front straightaway, trying to push him forward as he continues to work the outside lane around Keith Rocco.
Meanwhile, a little further back, we see that Rowan Pennick is also setting his strategy and working his magic coming up through the field. All of a sudden, Josh Wood is off the pace down the front straightaway. Outside lane is looking racing, but the inside line is the quickest way around so far. Here comes Tyler Hines. He gets stuck in that outside groove. Ronnie Williams, his buddy, moves into fourth.
Yeah, Williams in that black and blue number 49 now into the fourth spot. Now here comes Rowan Pennick in the white and gold 99. He moves inside and picks up another position underneath Tyler Hines.
Well, it appears that Rowan Pennick is coming to the front with the skill of a surgeon as he continues to work and create the magic and pick them off. Further back at the bottom of the top 10, we see a battle with Eric Burke, the Bulldog, the number 66 car, trying to get into contention with the top 15 cars. He's still struggling a little bit further back there as well.
Yeah, well, 66 and Burke started way back in the 20th position. He's now all the way up to 14th, so he's made some steady progress. He picks up another spot getting around Tom Abley there on the back stretch.
Look at Pennick, Rowan Pennick, battle for the fourth spot. White and gold is looking for the gold, and that ball apart. Hitchcock Fool's Machine is up to the fourth spot. Meanwhile, who's the tail that wags the dog there? It appears to be Tyler Hines. We've got another yellow.
List, to say the least. And boy, in that heat race here yesterday, during the pit party, they were talking about what happened here yesterday with Bo Gunning and Ted Christopher. I'll tell you what, that fire between those two still burns many, many years later.
It sure does. Yesterday, among the quickest cars in practice was Michael Christopher, as he is starting to thread the needle and work his way to contend up front as well. Michael, of course, had qualified and would started the event in the 14th starting position. Lights are off at the point. Christopher teamed up again, Deja Vu, in the front row with Ryan Preece. Then Keith Rocco, and the cream is rising to the top, looking for that third consecutive title. It could begin here today for Rowan Pennick as he sets in the fourth spot. Textbook, picture-perfect start with what we call a power assist by Keith Rocco, Ted Christopher. Motors out at the point, like the point of an arrow. Meanwhile, they're doubled up side by side in turn 3.
That's Preece looking up high while Keith Rocco now challenges to the inside. He's trying to follow in the tire tracks of Christopher, but look at that outside lane move. Preece with a half a car length advantage off the end of the front straightaway, but here comes Rocco battling back on the inside.
Well, Preece has a little more momentum coming off that second turn as they work their magic down into turn number 3. They're side by side. Meanwhile, behind him, Williams and Pennick are doing just the same type of a move, and all of a sudden, Chase Dowling wants to be a part of a 5-car bid for the number 1 spot.
Dowling's a smart kid. He'll sit there and watch this all take place, learn from the veterans in front of him, and then watch it all play out. Deeper in the field, Danny Gates get a little trouble up there off turn number 2, loses a couple of spots on the back straightaway as he tries to gather it back in.
He certainly does. Ronnie Williams gains in this one as Preece managed to drop back just a bit on the outside. Meanwhile, up to second, Keith Rocco. Now Williams is in the 4th spot. Now Preece is trying to fight back, but here comes Dowling, just as you called it. Dowling skillfully went from the high line to the inside lane, and we've got Chase Dowling up to the 4th position, but not without a fight. Bo Gunning slides to the center of the infield.
Something that doesn't happen very often here. The caution flag is now out for that Bo Gunning number
on the racetrack is the Eric Burnt number 66 car. Gunning comes back out of pit road. We're doubling them back up, and it looks like we're going to go back to green flag racing here in just a moment, Joe.
It is hard to believe that this is Eric Burnt's 23rd season of competition here at Stafford Speedway. You talk about a long and storied career. Very successful modified driver in that number 66. He's a champion in modified racing, and he's proven it here today with that run so far.
Certainly has. Get ready. Lights are off on the safety vehicle at the point, and here we go again. 13 of the 40 now complete. Ted Christopher, Keith Rocco. There was a time that Rocco turned some wrenches on Teddy Christopher's car. Now they're both wheel to wheel and turning wrenches and turning wheels as we are about ready to get them fired up. Here's Joe Koss as we're heading back to green.
Green flag displayed again from atop the flag stand. Ted Christopher is off and running, but Rocco keeps pace with him as they get down into turn number 1. Rocco runs it wide. He pinches Ted Christopher down at the exit of the corner. Here they come in a battle for the race lead midway down the backstretch.
Deep into turn number 3, Christopher guards the bottom. Rocco on the outside. Williams taps on the back bumper. They come off the turn. 10 cars strong, like a swarm of bees rattled in the net.
Here comes Ronnie Williams. He wants to get in this fight for the race lead. Goes inside of Keith Rocco off turn number 2. Christopher is able to get away with the race lead, but here's a battle for second now. Williams on the bottom. Rocco upstairs through turns 3 and 4.
There's no question about it. Who's a surprise in this one? The car that is the color green. Jeff Burrill started 13th on the grid, and Burrill has now emerged as the 7th place car and moving forward. Here comes Rowan Pennick again, glued to the back bumper there, trying to make the move on Priest. Priest's car is backpedaling. That's not the story for the number 99 car. It's looking ahead to the front of the field.
Well, Priest found the bottom lane again, and he's got Rowan Pennick right behind him. Jeff Burrell into it. Now Galco upstairs in 4th at the moment is Chase Dowling, and that car looks pretty good up in the high lane, but he's got all the veterans stacked up down to his left shoulder.
He certainly does, and directly behind him we have Burrill, followed by Galco, then it's Todd Owen, and then it looks like all of a sudden the 26 of Danny Cates is back in the game as well. Meanwhile, second spot, Williams. Look at the power play move that Keith Rocco. He just put it at a ton to the bottom of 3, off turn 4, Rocco's up to second.
Turn 3 is Keith Rocco's favorite part of this racetrack. He tunes his race cars to dive in turn number 3. That's exactly what he did there to pick up second.
And now they get back to turn number 3, and Rowan Pennick's going to try the same move on Ryan Priest. That stacks everything up. Everybody pulls back into line, and Priest will win that mini battle now, but for how long?
The Priest up to 4th now, rallies back to get away from Rowan Pennick. Now here's Chase Dowling. He's climbed right up to the back bumper of Rowan Pennick. Looks inside of turn number 3, but doesn't have it. Rolls out of the throttle, and we come to the line. We are halfway through the SK Modified feature.
The first half is now history. The best is yet to come. Ted Christopher, leader of the pack. Rocco still running in second. Williams in the 3rd spot. Priest is up to 4. Here comes Pennick. Bonsai move inside. The same type of a move that Rocco put on. It doesn't work for Pennick. His car swings right, swings left. He has to pull back to line.
Bit of contact between those two when they get down to the corner, but it doesn't deter Rowan Pennick at all as he tried it again over there in turn number 2. But here comes Dowling now. It's a good run off turn number 2. Peeps the nose down to the bottom, midway down the backstretch.
Certainly does. There they are, right there, a little further back from the field. All of a sudden, we've got Dan Avery, who's starting to pick up some pace. He puts the pressure on the Eric Byrne number 66 car. Up front, Rocco tests the waters again. Took a peek at the outside. Just as you pointed out, turn number 3 is his strong point of the racetrack. And look at the Williams kid. Staying with those big dogs right up front, running in that 3rd position.
Williams is watching this fight among the Titans right in front of him. Ted Christopher and Keith Rocco out in front. Only parlay between those two, and Rocco looks to be a little bit better right now as he closes back in on Ted Christopher.
He certainly does. He's giving it his all as they come off the turn. Right in the tire tracks, comes down into turn number 1. Little smooch to the back bumper. No love affair there. But Ted Christopher still holds on as he works the magic down the back straightaway.
Todd Owen picking up a couple of spots now. He rides in 6th. There's a battle right in front of him between Ryan Priest and Rowan Pennick continues to rage on. Very similar to the battle out in front. Hines is closing in on Keith Rocco. Little by little, he's inching up towards the back bumper of that number 88.
Last circuit by, Ted Christopher was an 18.874. Keith Rocco was an 18.967. So he's got a little bit more momentum, that Christopher machine, but that could suddenly change. Meanwhile, all of a sudden, Chase Dowling is glued to the back bumper. Now he looks to the outside. Dowling now tries to do a crossover right in the center of the apex of turns 1 and 2.
Looks inside of the back straightaway, follows back in the tire tracks. In that number 50, we're talking about Chase Dowling from Southbury, Connecticut, as he follows around with Rowan Pennick, 2-time defending champion of the division.
Certainly is, and now Pennick is able to shake him off as he now moves up to the 5th spot. A little further back, good battle going on between Avery, Byrne, out, and of course, the number 26 machine of Kate's directly in front of him is Michael Christopher. 28 and counting in his 40-lap event, presented by Napa Auto Parts.
Talked about Dan Avery a little bit earlier today. He is starting to make some progress. He's got that black and neon car, yellow bumper right behind Eric Byrne. His car is coming to life here in the late stages of the event as he tries to find a way around Eric Byrne and crack the top 10.
Certainly does. Still, the fastest lap turned in this event was an 18.725, and that was by Keith Rocco with the number 88 car. Meanwhile, Dowling, going to try it again. He works some magic. The S&S paving machine looks to the inside. Pennick slams the door. The white and gold car for two-time champion Rowan Pennick. 10 laps to go. 10 laps remaining in this event. 5 miles of the competition here.
And Ted Christopher has opened up his advantage back to Keith Rocco. He's now got a comfortable 4-car length advantage. About the same back to third for Ronnie Williams. Things have quieted down in the battle for fourth and fifth, but Chase Dowling is really getting up on the wheel here to start the season, putting a lot of pressure on Rowan Pennick.
He certainly has. Remember, now Dowling's got a lot of laps on this racetrack, but not nearly as many as Pennick does. But this is a whole different team and a different operation, so he's really turning some heads here this afternoon. But Will is finally settled into that 7th spot. Yalco is in the 8th position, and trouble now, car number 24. That, of course, is the number 24 machine of Josh
15th,
Woods.
16th for Tom Abley. DJ Burnham is 17th. Stephen Kopchik is 18th. 19th for Glenn Reen. And Bo Gunning is 20th.
Lights are off on the safety vehicle at the point, and it looks like we're ready to double them up. A shootout of 9 circuits remaining in this event. Most of the cautions were minor situations. As they head down off turn number 2 and down the back straightaway. Christopher up on the wheel already and anticipating the start.
These two have done this many times before. Christopher, that gold numeral number 13 on the bottom. Keith Rocco up high. 9 laps to go. It doesn't get any better than this when it comes to modified racing here at Stafford. A Rocco and a Christopher on the front row.
Here they come off turn number 4. Green flag is out. And Rocco, by a chrome horn, had it almost into turn 1, but Christopher shakes him off like a dog who has fleas. And Williams now moves into the 2nd spot, and right there with him, here comes Rowan Pennick. As he creates his magic, they rumble off turn number 4. Battle is for 3rd.
Williams may be a quiet kid outside of that race car, but I tell you what, he is aggressive when he straps that helmet on. He's right to the back bumper of Ted Christopher now, off turn number 2. Rocco is shoved to the outside lane as Matt Yalco goes spinning down through the infield grass along the back straightaway and goes for a long slide that brings a caution flag back out once again.
Lap number 30, I tell you that. I heard that earlier today, so...
I don't know what I do with that information.
I don't know, but it works, and it might be working here today. So let's see, now they double them up again. The Williams kid grew up not far from the Stafford Motor Speedway. Very athletic, comes from a great family. And this kid, if you talk to Stash Batova, Stash will tell you that this kid is amazing to work with because he is a natural athlete. And he just seems to know how to pace himself and do the right things. And even though he's very young, he's extremely mature when he sits behind the wheel.
And here's the thing about Stash Batova, the crew chief on that 49. He sets his race cars up for the final 10 laps of the race.
Yes, he does.
And that's where we are right now. Let's see what Williams can do with it on the outside as he challenges Ted Christopher.
Off turn number 4 now, looking for another textbook restart. As they come off the turn, looks pretty good. Christopher with the advantage. Little power assist again from the Dunleavy truck and trailer car of Keith Rocco. Here comes Williams. It's a second wind on the outside. Priest doesn't want to be left out of this one. Number 40 to the bottom, and then it's Rowan Pennick right there. Inside lane. Christopher a little loose that time, Joe. Off turn 4.
He's able to rope it back into the hounds right behind him. Rocco and Williams were not going to let him get away with that, but somehow Christopher did. He runs away with the race lead off turn number 2. Rocco is set clear of Ronnie Williams, and here he comes challenging Christopher down to the inside of turn number 3. Christopher stops in the middle of the turn, and Williams gets into the back of him.
Unbelievable. Rocco down low, a mad scramble. There is about 5 cars literally up to the top side of the race. And you know, they say the cream rises to the top. Well, guess what? The cream has got to rise to the top and there's only 7 laps to get there.
And if you're Ronnie Williams right now lining up in the outside lane, the best restarts of the day have come from Keith Rocco. He was better than Ted Christopher.
Yes, he was.
He was equal to what Ryan Preece was doing earlier in the day today, but the same can't be said for Ronnie Williams. That last restart for him was a mulligan. It worked out because of what happened between Christopher and Rocco in the spin. He was able to avoid it. But with 7 laps to go, you don't know if you're going to get another one of those back. He's got to be on his A game here.
Certainly has. Another car we must point out is Michael Christopher, the white number 82 car. He is up to the 6th spot. He's picked up 8 positions here as well. Todd Owen, before that last caution, he was backpedaling, but that is no longer the case. He's right in the thick of things here as well.
Again, Rocco with the advantage here on the start, leads him down into the corner, but look at the move down to the inside. Here comes Chase Dowling looking for the race lead off too.
Dowling makes a bull move to the bottom. Who's the tail that wags the dog there? All of a sudden, it appears to be Owen. And look at Glenn Reen with the number 17 car. He rim rides to the bottom of the grass. Now it is Rocco who settles back into second. Chase Dowling still the leader of the pack. 34 and counting.
Ronnie Williams went from second to fourth, but the move of the day so far is Chase Dowling, putting that 50 car out in front. Here's Williams looking to get back into the 3rd spot. He maneuvers down to the inside off turn number 4 and gets the job done.
He certainly does. Meanwhile, Williams moves into 3rd. Meanwhile, Glenn Reen, we haven't talked much about him at all. He's up to the top 5 with that number 17 car. And correction, that's the number 10A car. And that, of course, is Dan Avery, who's come away from the back of the pack. Back up front, here's a bid for the lead.
Rocco getting aggressive, gives Chase Dowling a little bit of a love tap, if you might call it that. Here he goes back into the front. Meanwhile, trouble. It's Todd Owen hard into the outside turn 2 wall, and one car, Jeff Burrell, climbed on top of another.
It's on top of the Dan Avery race car. The Owens machine is pinned to the outside wall. Rowan Pettick is involved there as well. Eric Burt is involved, and the teammate of Dan
Inside
Avery.
lane, Chase Dowling, outside line, Keith Rocco, and you better believe, Chase, that you may have schooled Keith Rocco once, but it's going to be tough to do it a second time.
I agree with you 100% on that one, but still, it's anyone's race, and there's 4 laps, 2 miles left to determine who is the best on Sizzler Sunday, Napa style, from the Stafford Motor Speedway. It's been a great race so far. Very competitive. Chase Dowling with that brand new race car and that brand new team in search of a victory here at Stafford.
Pace car ducks for cover. 4 laps remain in the SK Modified event. The inside lane belongs to the race leader, Chase Dowling, alongside Keith Rocco, the veteran, up in the outside.
Here they come. Green flag is out. They are even, but inch by inch, Rocco gains a little momentum. Meanwhile, Chase Dowling takes it in deep, bottom of the racetrack. Rocco on the back straightaway. Here comes Dowling. Dowling by a half a car. All of a sudden, right there with him is Rocco. Here comes Williams as they head back to the stripe.
Chase Dowling back out in front with 3 laps to go, and Ronnie Williams now draws even with Keith Rocco down into turn number 1. Williams runs it right down to the inside lane, but Rocco keeps him honest as they exit turn 2.
Williams settles back into second. Meanwhile, further back, Galco, along with Bo Gunning, are coming to the front of the class. 2 laps remaining in this event. Chase Dowling still the leader of the pack. 4 cars, single formation, then they're doubled up further on back.
Tom Abley now looking up high on Keith Rocco. Nothing doing there, but it's Chase Dowling down the back straightaway. He'll come to the line next time by, looking for 1 lap to go in the Spring Sizzler.
Certainly is. Meanwhile, Ted Christopher's also coming back to the front of the field, but there's only a half mile left to get the job done. Down into turn number 1. Final time. Williams tries to make a move on Chase Dowling. He heads down in turn number 3. Trouble. Eric Burt, the Bulldog, down in turn 1. Ladies and gentlemen, they work their magic back off turn number 4. Double checkers are out. Chase Dowling will take down the impressive victory. We've got a spin off turn number 4 as well.
Bo Gunning went around off turn number 4. A lot of things happening there on that final lap, and Chase Dowling modified here on Napa Sizzler weekend again. A big day for him and a big day for this Skavora team. It's going to put a big bounce in their step as they proceed through the summer months.
It certainly is. You know, I was just noticing from our vantage point, Woody Pitcat, who drove for the Skavora family, who always did an outstanding job, he's just as ecstatic for Adam Skavora and the family and that race team as anyone. And that's a real class act to be that ecstatic for those guys, because they really did a fantastic job. And Woody was a fantastic driver for that team as well. Well, he's in Napa Victory Lane, and our good buddy John Gates is down there. And we'll be heading things down in just a moment. And let's go down to Napa Victory Lane and John Gates.
Okay, Chase Dowling out of the car. A shower of water. What a race in that S&S Modified, man. SK Modified feature win. You put out some great moves this afternoon. You pick up a Sizzler trophy, man. You got to be happy.
Yeah, this is unbelievable. Something I always dreamed of, and I can't thank Adam Scavera and the boys enough. They worked their heart out all week. And it shows, you know, we came here fast in practice, fast in the heat race, and that race I knew to be patient. Rocco gave me a good run there at the end, and I just moved him up a little bit like you would do to me, and came home with the victory.
Chase, man, you got to be psyched, that's for sure. I know you got a lot of good guys helping you out in this car. Who are they?
Yeah, I think Adam Scavera and the whole team, first of all. S&S Asphalt Paving, Kerrigan Heating and Air Conditioning, Flamingo Motorsports. Oh man, Holcon, Dough Broker, Pettit for the motor. There's just so many people. The list goes on and we have Dave Crawley that passed away over the winter, and I gotta dedicate this to him and Dave Tanis. He's battling cancer.
There he is, folks. Chase Dowling. He goes to Victory Lane in your NASCAR Whelen All-American Series SK Modified Sizzler main event. Let's go talk to our second place finisher, Ronnie Williams. Ronnie Williams, second place in the 49 car, man. I'll tell you what, good racing out there and very close racing. And tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, our car was tight through the center, so I was trying to do everything I could. I felt like we could never get up to the front, and we were always like second and third on the restarts. Happy we were third on the restart because we got second, but definitely probably wanted one more lap. Congrats to Chase and their guys. They're going to have a fast car all year, so are we, but look for us next week. I definitely got to thank Advice One, Take For Your Game, Take Control, Christo's Pizza, Levine Law, TA Engines, Stosh, my dad, everyone who helps on this car, and thanks for all you guys out there with the passing of my grandfather and my uncle this off-season. But we're happy we can get 49 into second place for the first time, and hopefully next week put in Victory Lane for the first time.
Absolute class act right there. Second spot for Ronnie Williams. Let's talk to our third place finisher, Keith Rocco. Third place in number 88. I know it's not what you wanted, man, but you put on a good show out there for the folks.
Yeah, it's definitely not what we wanted, but good way to start off the year. I got to thank John and Maine Rufano, Wheelers Auto, Dunleavy Truck and Trailer Repair, Pettit for the horsepower, my whole team. They worked hard this weekend, and we had a good shot at the win.
Keith, as the season progresses here, man, this is going to be quite the division, the SKs at Stafford.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be tough. There's a lot of good cars, and looks like there's going to be a lot of good shows.
There you go, Keith Rocco, third place tonight in the number 88 car.